Whew. Boy. Wish I could put that fan a little lower. Well, let everybody show up. I'm a little early. Whew. Boy, it is powerfully hot. It's pretty miserable here in Oregon with the intense heat. I have no idea how like people handle this in like a place like Texas where it's like just like I just, but I guess one of these days maybe I'll end up finding out. All right. So I figured because I knew so very little about Proverbs, I thought I would take a look at it, and it's actually kind of interesting. The idea of wisdom literature, and that this is actually something that has always been understood as though a part of Torah. It also has its own kind of separate categories, wisdom literature, and then it even gets into that as it is put together, it actually has every proverb has a way that it's separated, and at the end there's typically the summation. Like, so this is what it means, and that there used to be at the very endmost portion a couplet that actually goes along with it. So sometimes you will actually find that couplet still attributed to the proverb. So here we go. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3 because apparently they're rather long and they're meant to be. So Proverb 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. For learning wisdom and discipline, for understanding words of discernment, for acquiring the discipline for success, righteousness, justice, and equity, for endowing the simple with shrewdness, the young with knowledge and foresight. The wise man, hearing them, will gain more wisdom. The discerning man will learn to be adroit. For understanding proverb and epigram, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. My son, heed the discipline of your father, and do not forsake the instruction of your mother. They are a graceful wreath upon your head, a necklace about your throat. My son, if sinners entice you, do not yield. If they say, come with us, let us set an ambush to shed blood. Let us lie in wait for the innocent without cause. Like Sheol, let us swallow them alive. Whole like those who go down into the pit, we shall obtain every precious treasure. We shall fill our homes with loot. Throw in your lot with us. We shall all have a common purse. My son, do not set out with them. Keep your feet from their path, for their feet run to evil. They hurry to shed blood. In the eyes of every winged creature, the outspread net means nothing. But they lie in ambush for their own blood. They lie in wait for their own lives. Such is the fate of all who pursue unjust gain. It takes the life of its possessor. Wisdom cries aloud in the streets, raises her voice in the squares. At the head of the busy streets she calls, at the entrance of the gates in the city she speaks out. How long will you simple ones love simplicity? You scoffers be eager to scoff. You dullards hate knowledge? You are indifferent to my rebuke. I will now speak my mind to you and let you know my thoughts, since you refused me when I called and paid no heed when I extended my hand. You spurned all my advice and would not hear my rebuke. I will laugh at your calamity and mock when terror comes upon you, when terror comes like a disaster and calamity arrives like a whirlwind, when trouble and distress come upon you. Then they shall call me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me, but not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose fear of the Lord. They refused my advice and disdained all my rebukes. They shall eat the fruit of their ways and have their fill of their own counsels. The tranquility of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of dullards will destroy them. But he who listens to me will dwell in safety, untroubled by the terror of misfortune. Proverb 2. My son, if you accept my words and treasure up my commandments, if you make your ear attentive to them and your mind open to discernment, if you call to understanding and cry aloud to discernment, if you seek it as you do silver and search for it as for treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and attain knowledge of God. For the Lord grants wisdom, knowledge. He reserves ability for the upright and is a shield for those who live blamelessly, guarding the paths of justice, protecting the way of those loyal to him. You will then understand what is right, just, and equitable. Every good course, for wisdom will enter your mind, and knowledge will delight you. Foresight will protect you, and discernment will guard you. It will save you from the way of evil men, from men who speak duplicity, who leave the paths of rectitude to follow the ways of darkness, who rejoice in doing evil and exult in the duplicity of evil men, men whose paths are crooked, who are devious in their course. It will save you from the forbidden woman, from the alien woman whose talk is smooth, who forsakes the companion of her youth and disregards the covenant of her God. Her house sinks down to death, and her course leads to the shades. All who go to her cannot return and find again the paths of life. So follow the ways of the good, and keep the paths of the just. For the upright will inhabit the earth, the blameless will remain in it, while the wicked will vanish from the land, and the treacherous will be rooted out of it. Proverb 3. Yes, media hits. I'm thinking Book of Job for sure. I'm going to take a look at Book of Job. So this is a dry reading, a totally dry reading. I was kind of fascinated. I'm a little late, so I just thought I'd jump into it. My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your mind retain my commandments, for they will bestow on you length of days, years of life and well-being. Let fidelity and steadfastness not leave you. Bind them about your throat, write them on the tablet of your mind, and you will find favor and approbation in the eyes of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths smooth. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. It will be a cure for your body, a tonic for your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the best of all your income, and your barns will be filled with grain, your vats will burst with new wine. Do not reject the discipline of the Lord, my son. Do not abhor his rebuke. For whom the Lord loves, he rebukes, as a father the son whom he favors. Happy is the man who finds wisdom, the man who attains understanding. Her value in trade is better than silver, her yield greater than gold. She is more precious than rubies. All your goods cannot equal her. In her right hand is the length of days, her left the riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths peaceful. She is a tree of life to those who grasp her, and whoever holds on to her is happy. The Lord founded the earth by wisdom. He established the heavens by understanding. By his knowledge the depths burst apart, and the skies distill dew. My son, do not lose sight of them. Hold on to resourcefulness and foresight. They will give life to your spirit and grace to your throat. Then you will go your way safely and not injure your feet. When you lie down, you will be unafraid. You will lie down, and your sleep will be sweet. You will not fear sudden terror or the disaster that comes upon the wicked, for the Lord will be your trust. He will keep your feet from being caught. Do not withhold good from one who deserves it, when you have the power to do it for him. Do not say to your fellow, "Come back again, I'll give it to you tomorrow," when you have it with you. Do not devise harm against your fellow, who lives trustfully with you. Do not quarrel with a man for no cause, when he has done you no harm. Do not envy a lawless man, or choose any of his ways, for the devious man is an abomination to the Lord, but he is intimate with the straightforward. The curse of the Lord is on the house of the wicked. He blesses the abode of the righteous. At scoffers he scoffs, but to the lowly he shows grace. Wise shall gain honor, but dullards get disgrace as their position. Let's do another. Proverb number. Sons, heed the discipline of a father. Listen, once I was a son to my father, the tender darling of mother. He instructed me to me, let your mind hold on to my words. Keep my commandments and you will live. Acquire wisdom, acquire discernment, do not forget, and do not swerve from my words. Do not. The beginning of wisdom is acquire wisdom. So she will bring you honor if you embrace her. She will adorn your. My son, heed and take my word. You in straight courses, you will walk without breaking stride. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold fast to discipline. Do not let go. Keep it. It is your life. Turn away from it. Pass it by. For they cannot sleep unless they have done evil. Unless they make someone fall, they are robbed of sleep. They eat the bread of wickedness and lawlessness. The path of the righteous is like radiant sunlight, ever brightening until noon. The way of the wicked is all darkness. They do not know what will make them stumble. My son, listen to my speech. Incline your ear to my words. Do not lose sight of them. Keep them in your mind. They are life to him who finds them. Healing for his whole body. More than all that you guard your mind, for it is the source of life. Put crooked speech away from you. Put devious talk far from you. Let your eyes look forward, your gaze be straight ahead. Survey the course you take, and all your ways will prosper. Do not swerve to the right or the left. Keep your feet from evil. Let's do one more. Make it at least 20 minutes. My son, listen to my wisdom, incline your ear to my insight, that you may have foresight, while your lips hold fast to knowledge. For the lips of a forbidden woman drip honey, her mouth is smoother than oil, but in the end she is as bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold of Sheol. She does not chart a path of life. Her course meanders for lack of knowledge. So now, sons, pay heed to me, and do not swerve from the words of my mouth. Keep yourself far away from her. Do not come near the doorway to her house, of her house. lest you give up your vigor to others, your years to a ruthless one, lest strangers eat their fill of your strength, and your toil be of the house of another, and in the end you roar, when your flesh and body are consumed, and say, oh, how I hated discipline, and heartily spurned rebuke. I did not pay heed to my teachers, or incline my ear to my instructors. Soon I was in dire trouble amidst the assembled congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Your springs will gush forth in streams in the public squares. They will be yours alone, others having no part with you. Let your fountain be blessed. Find joy in the wife of your youth, a loving doe, a graceful goat. Let her breast satisfy you at all times. Be infatuated with love of her always. Why be infatuated, my son, with a forbidden woman? Why clasp the bosom of an alien woman? For a man's ways are before the eyes of God. He surveys his entire course. The wicked man will be trapped in his iniquities. He will be caught up in the ropes of his sin. He will die for lack of discipline, infatuated by his great folly. I think that's a good bunch for tonight, because that's a lot of wisdom. Give me just one moment. I want to mark this because I think I'm gonna have to come up with it. Oh, there we go. No, this will work. There we go. Okay. There's really only 30 some of these. I think maybe go through a few more of the Proverbs over the next couple of days. I think that was a pretty good one. Okay, you're like, all right, we're getting some thumbs up and getting all right. I dig it. All right. Okay, and I know I keep saying it. Tomorrow night I'll probably be on a little bit earlier than 9:30. I actually reconnected with Big Cameron. Some of you have been watching for a while now, and then I'll mention Big Cam, and Big Cam's bigger than ever. He's been very disciplined and stays away from the ways of the wicked, and so have a good night, everybody. Stay safe out there. Every day there's crazier and crazier stories that I'm actually glad that I don't have a channel that I cover like the news, because it would just make me hopeless. I've really kind of decided I'm probably going to stick to Soundcloud and doing this most regularly with, my little daily constitutional things. I probably will be up doing one tomorrow morning. So you should expect a nice little upload. Crazy times, crazy times. And I'm really worried about a lot of people right now that the moratorium's ending. So also, and also all these people, this giant invasion of illegals. Where are they living? I mean, as some of you have seen, that there's that one huge one where all these people under a freeway, and there's no other place to put them. The freeway is the only place with shade. I mean, that's just miserable. And I mean, we joke, we laugh a little about do not come. But wow, I mean, just gaffled. I mean, just the gaffling gafflers. The way that the administration and the Democrats and big industry has done this. Awful, absolutely terrible. And some of you might have seen that there's been the extension of Trump's act about illegal immigrants and COVID, but we're allowing unaccompanied minors to stay. So something there, people, yeah, it's just a crazy time. All right, well, have a good night, everybody.